BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. And there's more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the MLB, NHL, and UFC. And in between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino. All the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino action. So BetOnline, the game starts here. Next is from Impact Entertainment, subject is Worlds Collide. Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to point out how Konnan was right about how Tony Khan remembers everything related and how TK is delusional with criticism of AEW. You can see it in one of Maven's latest videos where he sneaks into AEW. I'll link it down below with a timestamp if you'd like to check it out. My question to you guys is, are you all going to be at the Worlds Collide show here in LA, or is Disco signing to AAA going to be the big surprise announcement Konnan was referring to? Hope to see you guys there and take care. I actually came up with I thought of Konnan that my character, okay,
right,
should be the liaison between AAA and WWE. Okay,
right.
and as the liaison, they show a video. Okay, there's a room, and I'm having a TED talk. Okay, to the talent, and I'm explaining to the NXT talent that when you go down to AAA, don't eat the food or drink the water. And I show graphs and I have charts that show like the increase in like diarrhea with the increase of Mexican food consumption with the water in the food. Do you think that would be a funny segment?
Yeah, here's the problem, bro. You give a lot of ideas when you know you're not going to come in, so why do you?
Did you see this video of what's his name? Of
No,
Maven?
I have not. I'd like to see it.
Hey, go to the time. It's not that long. That from the timestamp, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What if he didn't sneak in? This is all set up.
How do you know?
I don't know.
That's pretty big jump from he sneaked in and it was set up to I don't know.
I don't believe anything, man. All right, here we go.
Well, no, you got to go back to the setup.
Yeah, sounds like me and you. I don't believe anything you tell me.
13.
I know.
Okay, go ahead. Go back to when he's in the car. Explain what he's doing.
All right.
Just back a little bit.
The car's all the way down.
Oh no, forget it. No, go to 15, 13.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a meeting Tony Khan.
On what you've built. This is an amazing show.
It's great.
And you got some good talent.
Thank you. You're really kind. I really appreciate you for coming. And do you know where you spent Halloween in 2004?
I do not.
You were in Champaign, Illinois, and I saw you after the show, and you and Randy Orton signed an autograph for me. I was in college, and I was very excited to see you. You were in the first match, and he was in the last match, and it was a nice Halloween, and then I went out later that night.
Did you have a good time
I had
that night?
a great time.
Well, you know what? More than likely, that night, Randy and I went out and had a great time
It seemed like you were having a good time.
Yeah. I've noticed, just forgive me, you get a bad rep because I see how much you care.
I like how Tony pretends like he doesn't know that.
Yeah, you see that.
Yeah, look at this, Chuck. He goes, you get a bad rap. Look at Tony's face. Like, really? Look.
Forgive me. You get a bad rep because I see how much you care. I see how much you put into this. I see how much you going up to your talent, your guys afterwards and making sure they're okay. Dude.
Thank you.
Much respect.
Thank you.
I will, from here on out, go to bat as much as I can.
Thank you.
And be like, you don't see what I see. So, congratulations. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
You know what Maven is like? That's enough. Maven is like a Southern guy, like a Southern black, like light-skinned black guy tried to be The Rock.
Right.
You know, like he sees a very well spoken. He's got a suit on.
Right.
Right. It's like very, very similar in like the way he speaks. You know.
Here's one thing I'll say about Tony. I've never met a promoter. I don't know. Paulie was pretty hands-on, but I've never met a promoter that cared as much about the wrestlers as he did. But at the same time, he's a huge mark for them. So it's this guy or it's that guy, you know? And look at, bro, how he remembered all those details, even though he lived in Champaign, Illinois. But he knew the year, what match they were in.
Oh, yeah, he's a photographic memory.
Like, bro, he does that. He would do that with me all the time. And I would just think in my head, well, you really are a mark if you remember all that.
Well, that's got nothing to do with being a mark. The guy just has an excellent memory. Well,
Yeah.
why is that being a mark?
Only
if
a
you
mark would remember that. Like I'm a mark for the Boston Celtics. I remember that I shouldn't remember because I'm a mark for them. I'm not
Well,
a mark
he's not
about
a.
wrestling. I'm not really a mark about wrestling because I don't know dates. I don't know matches I did. I don't know a lot of, you
Well,
know?
that's like but I'm saying that's like the Sean McVay deal. Remember, Sean McVay can remember specific plays
Right,
for because he's got a photo because he just remembers everything.
right.
That's not like being a like you just
He's
remember
a
everything.
mark. If you meet him,
Right?
you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, I'm sure he is, but I mean that's I don't think what you're describing I don't consider a negative quality just because he can remember he's got a photographic memory. So
I'm not saying it's a
What do
negative
you mean
quality
negative?
just because
Yeah.
I just said I'm a mark for the Celtics and the
right,
Hurricanes.
I understand what you're saying.
I'm
I'm
not
saying
going to
I
bury
just
myself.
I didn't
right.
take it as negative.
Did you know that Dave said that Tony this year is far and away the best book? By the way.
Come on, dude.
Yes, that's like
Far and away.
I had a conversation today with
Far
Russo.
and away.
Me and Russo did our thing, right? And it's
Really?
just kind of funny that how I was like explaining to Dave, like Dave, if you look at like the course of time
To
that
Dave.
well, no, it's talking about we were talking about Meltzer, okay?
Right.
So I said if you look at the course of time, okay, and over the history of professional wrestling, every booker was judged on attendance and ratings, okay?
Right.
And like because AEW is kind of floundering in those metrics now, okay? Because over the course of time, as if it's like look at this way over an historical period over time, when AEW came to Vegas, they were at the MGM Grand first, big crowd. They were at T-Mobile, big crowd. They went back to MGM the next time they came, smaller crowd than previously at MGM. Then they went to the minor league hockey arena, okay? And then they went to a casino, a theater that one of the casinos off the strip in a bad part of town, okay? And I said, so, like Dave is constantly trying to put shine on the product and ignoring these basic metrics of like they're floundering in attendance and TV ratings, right? And what he's done is he's making up all these other irrelevant metrics. I was saying Vince, like I go, could you imagine if like the ratings were bad, like they'd gone down like that, and you were working for Vince McMahon, and we went to Vince McMahon, and the show did 680,000 people one last week. This week the show did 640,000 people, right?
Right.
And he go, what would Vince McMahon say if like your defense was, the attendance is down, the numbers down? Well, we beat the original Housewives of New Jersey, and we beat the women's basketball game in the ratings, and we were number 3 on the night. So fucking
Right.
like he wouldn't give about that, right?
Right.
So it's funny like how Dave has invented all of these comparisons and metrics and stuff, everything, to just ignore the basics of what Triple H and TKO are doing of attendance and revenue, which they're focused on, and like they're just focused on all these other imaginary awards and stuff like the Booker of the Year and match ratings and the fight, all this.
But that means a lot to the wrestlers, bro.
But I'm saying
And to him, because he's a
it
mark.
does because it's weird. That's what I'm saying.
Right, because he's a mark.
Right.
Okay,
exactly.
let me tell you.
Okay, good.
It's almost like that famous thing that Malenko said when he won the PWI #1 wrestler.
Yeah.
Because I don't give. I'm not a mark. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he didn't care. He's a wrestler.
Yeah, that was for the
So-
magazine, for the people that still thought it was real.
Yeah.
Right.
Like what
right.
kind of
right.
awesome
That was a
stuff.
big deal back then.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Can
people
imagine
go,
what
"Oh, I
audience
was
that
number
is?
95."
You got to
So
black
what?
out of it.
But remember, I think it's over the course of time we've actually done when the PW 500 came out. I think there's been on various occasions we've actually gone over like some of the things.
Yeah.
And dude, remember how funny it was how some of these indie guys they weren't on the list.
Right. Dude, I was on there a couple times.
Right?
I could not tell you what number I was or gave, and I'm sure I wasn't that high. But
I think I was in the top 100 one year.
yeah, I
Maybe.
don't even. Right. So here's the thing about that. I want to add that you said metrics are TV ratings and attendance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, one of the metrics is how many stars you make. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I want to say this for Dave. I've come to the conclusion that one of 3 things is going on here. Either he's getting paid by Tony, Number two is, since he's kind of the king of the marks, and all the marks, fanatical marks are over there and they look up to him.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to, do them a solid and talk
pander to them.
Yeah, pander to them. That's the correct word, right? And what was the third one? By the way, this is a tobacco product.
Is it from Frankie Kazarian?
No, he's yet to send me any.
Frank.
What was the third one I wanted to say?
I don't know.
My bad.
He pandered.
Tony's
Pandering to the
marks.
people. He's getting paid.
Yeah.
Right. He was getting paid pandering to his audience, that audience, or whatever.
Hardcores.
Right. I can't remember the third one, but definitely something's going on.
Right.
When you're continuously not, and it's funny, bro, because when I read the Observer, he does kind of bury them, but for some reason on Twitter he puts them over.
Well, he just sees when you go on, you read the newsletter, and he has to post the data,
right?
Like the stuff you can't ignore, the evidence has to point out, well, this is not good. You know what I'm saying? So because you're looking at the numbers, bro. We do this like it's so funny.
But how could you possibly come to the conclusion, and I'm being serious here, that he's Booker of the Year this year?
Who would care?
He's booked more 5-star matches than Hunter.
Dude, because the attendance and the numbers don't.
It's not about how many 5-star matches, how much money you make.
Sure, I'm saying that's the
that could be it. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Booker of the Year is related to how good the ratings are related to the revenue.
But I think in his mind is how my ratings are with cage side. Is that what it's called?
Cage match. Yeah.
Cage match.
So just so you guys know, I know you were dying to know this. I have PWI 500 info for you straight from Wikipedia. Konnan was number 25 of the top 500 wrestlers in 1996 PWI 500.
Well, wait a minute, but you got well, here's the problem. Is that there was only the PWI 500 is only American, right?
No.
How come Konnan was the biggest star in Mexico? Was he ever on the list before that?
I couldn't find
how far back does the PWI 500
What year is that?
This is 1996. Yeah, this is Wikipedia. It doesn't list.
Yeah, your first year, you were U.S. champion in WCW then, right? So
yes.
That 25 is a pretty solid. That's actually right about where you should have been ranked if we're looking at the biggest star in Mexico, U.S. champion in the United States. I would say top 25.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Each match has the awards database. That's cool. So I'll get more info later. But also, Disco, you were 85th in 1990.
Top 100, yeah.
Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.